Hey!
Are you religious? Are you religious? Please come over here.
Hey! Get off the phone!
There's only one copy. They're trying to enslave me. I got their band here. And they're trying to enslave me. I call my... Look here. They've been after me.
Man, put those scissors down.
You're going to have to shoot me, nigga.
Put those scissors down.
No, you're not taking to shoot me. You're not taking to shoot me. You're going to have to shoot me. Please, mate, call number one.
Put those scissors down.
You hold the phone like that.
Hey, put those scissors down.
You're going to have to shoot me.
Put those down. Put those down.
You're going to have to shoot me.
Hey, go back over there.
You're going to have to shoot and kill me. You're going to have to shoot and kill me. You ain't taking me. Enslaving me, bitch.
104 headquarters, 1033 the channel. Give me a supervisor over here. We got a white female. She has scissors.
You ain't calling. You ain't calling.
Hey, if you come over here, I will kill you.
Okay, kill me.
Drop the scissors. Drop the scissors. Shots fired. Shots fired. White female on the ground. Still got scissors in her hands. Shots fired. Shots fired. Drop the scissors.
Signal 15.
Drop the scissors. Hey, back up. Everybody back up. Hey, get out. Get out. Get out. Get out. Hurry up. Go that way. Go that way. Ma'am, drop the scissors, please. Drop the scissors, ma'am, please.
Umbrella. She's up. She's up. Whole nother level of shit you can't even understand.
What is good, my people? We are live back again with another episode of The Forecast. Now, we as a people have to relearn how to look out for each other. We have to relearn how to protect each other. Instead of giving everybody else a pass, we have to learn how to give each other a pass. Because when it comes down to it, we are all we got. And we can't afford any more divisions. Especially right now, we cannot afford gender wars. Somehow we have to get over our trauma and start giving each other the benefit of the doubt. Because if black men and women don't get on code with each other, we cannot destroy this system. There's a reason why the very first black institution they destroyed was the black family. Because if the black family is destroyed, the black community is destroyed. And other groups have problems. A lot of people like to say black people are the only ones that do such and such. But other people do the same thing. It's just that we cannot afford it. And at the end of the day, with these other groups, no matter what they're fighting about, when it comes to their women and black men, they immediately get on code. And they will go out of the way to protect them by any means necessary. Back in 1910 in Dallas, a brother named Alan Brooks was lynched after he was falsely accused. Now, this brother was working for a white family, and then one day they accused him of raping their 2-year-old daughter. And even though he denied it and there was no evidence, he was arrested anyway. Then a mob started gathering at the jail, so they had to move him to another city. Then on the day he had to go to court, a mob started gathering outside the courthouse, just waiting to lynch him. The mob grew to around 1,000 by the time the trial started. Then in the middle of the trial, the mob broke into the courthouse and they grabbed his brother Alan Brooks. They tied a rope around his brother's neck and threw him out the second-story window. Now, some people believe he died after the fall, but the brother could have still been alive, just unconscious. Then the mob just started defiling his body. They started stabbing him and stomping on his head. And by the time the mob grew to around 3,000, they tied a rope around his brother's neck and tied him to a car and then drug his body for a half a mile. And by then, the crowd got up to about 5,000 people. And then they hung his brother from a telephone pole. A lot of them took pieces of the rope and pieces of his clothes as souvenirs, and most likely took pieces of his body for souvenirs. And then the court said since the mob had killed him, that the case was dismissed. And then after they lynched his brother Alan Brooks, the mob still wanted blood. And even though by 1908, postcards of lynchings was illegal, they were still sending postcards of his brother Alan Brooks being lynched through the mail. And of course, nobody was ever charged or punished for any of it. Because all they need is an accusation. They don't even need it to be true. And they're ready to stand up and protect each other by any means necessary. But until we start developing that mentality, we'll keep going through the same thing. And it's not just the dominant society. Other groups do the same thing. In Oklahoma, a brother Albert Thomas and his cousin Dajon Ross was shot by a Mexican dude, Manuel Quezada, because his brother, a black man, was dating his daughter.
First at noon, Rogers County deputies arrest 2 people following a double homicide in a neighborhood just east of Owasso.
News on 6's Mallory Thomas spoke with deputies about the two people they now have in custody.
Rogers County Sheriff Scott Walton says that the names of those two people that have been arrested for this double homicide are husband and wife Manuel and Angelica Quezada. Now, deputies say that they were called out to the home near 76th Street North and 177th East Avenue. When they got here, they saw Manuel Quezada in the street with a visible gun in his back pocket. Deputies arrested him on the scene, and they also arrested Angelica Quezada for accessory to murder. Deputies were first called out there to the scene around 10 o'clock last night for reports of shots fired. When they arrived, they found one victim on the ground and another in the driver's seat of a car in the driveway. Both people were taken to the hospital where they later died.
We had one male victim laying in the street behind the car, another male victim of a shooting inside the driver's seat.
We know that Manuel Quezada was taken into custody for 2 counts of first-degree murder. We don't know yet the connection between Quezada and the two victims. The names of those victims have not yet been released.
Now, this brother Albert Thomas was dating this Mexican girl, Samantha, and him and his cousin, Dajon Ross, went to pick her up so they can go to the movies. Now, this brother was dating this Mexican girl for 2 years, but he had never met her father. And of course, this Mexican dude, thinking he's a part of white supremacy, said he didn't want his daughter associating with black people, period. So when his brother Albert Thomas finally met her dad, they ended up getting into an argument. Then this Mexican dude, Manuel Quezada, pulled out his gun and shot this brother. Then he went and shot his cousin, Dajon Ross, and this brother was still sitting in the car. When the police got there, this Mexican dude was just standing in the street with a gun in his back pocket. And his brother Albert Thomas was on the ground, while his cousin was still in the car. Now, the police did arrest him and charged him with homicide, but of course they're acting clueless, like they have no idea what the motive could have been.
Memories is hard. It's hard to say you're going to remember somebody. I don't want to remember him. I want him to be here with me.
The family of 2 men killed in Rogers County trying to figure out how to go on. They say Albert Thomas and his cousin Dajon Ross were picking up Thomas's girlfriend when her father shot and killed both men. Tonight, 2 Works for You's Katie Kelleher tells us what investigators say happened and how the family is reacting.
Mike, the family is understandably very upset. I spoke with Thomas's aunt, who says they are good kids, and she feels like she's in the middle of a nightmare while she's awake.
I ain't never felt no pain like this in my whole life, ever.
Alita Thomas had just spoken to her nephew, Albert Thomas, about dinner plans Tuesday night. Later, she got a call saying he and her cousin, Dajon Ross, had been shot by 47-year-old Manuel Quezada, the father of Albert's girlfriend. According to Alita, Albert and Manuel had never met because Manuel did not want Albert dating his daughter. Manuel is charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. His wife, 45-year-old Angelica Quezada, was also arrested on 1 count of accessory to murder. The Rogers County Sheriff says this type of incident is rare for the area.
A homicide is a pretty alarming thing. A double homicide is twice as alarming.
Alita and the family heartbroken by this incident, saying both boys were good kids, not involved in any trouble. Now a hole left behind.
We ain't gonna be able to sit at the table with Dajon and teach him how to play phase 10 over and over again. We're not gonna be able to do that because somebody hated them and didn't even know them and took their life from them.
So far, no court date has been set.
Now, not only did they arrest this Mexican dude and charge him with homicide, they ended up arresting his wife and charging her with accessory to murder. And even though it was the first night this brother met his girlfriend's dad after 2 years, this Mexican dude killed him in cold blood. But somehow, even though he said it himself, the police cannot figure out the motivation.
Be in prison, but they got life. They can write letters or correspond. I can't write no letter. I can't write no letter to the cemetery and be like, hey, Albert. I can't do that.
Good evening. First at 5 o'clock, 2 people are dead and 2 more are in the Rogers County Jail tonight after a double murder that happened outside Owasso.
The victim's family tells us the 2 boys were going to pick up the suspect's daughter to go to the movies. News on 6's Amy Kaufman is live with their reaction.
Well, Brian and Lori, family members tell me that one of the victims had been dating the suspect's daughter for the past 2 years, but this is the first time he met her dad. Now, the Rogers County Sheriff's Office says they're still working to piece it all together.
She said she heard gunshots and she didn't know what to do. And I said, Mom, hang up, call the police now.
Carrie Thomas says her mom heard arguing outside, then several gunshots, and called her right away. She says when she got there, she was surprised to see the street she grew up on like this.
And it was just wall-to-wall police deputies.
Deputies responded to the Owasso home in western Rogers County around 10 last night. They say one victim was lying on the ground with a gunshot wound, the other was inside the car, and the suspect, Manuel Quezada, was in the driveway with a gun in his back pocket.
The questions I think that we all would have on this, I mean, you know, what's it really about? Where have they been? Let's find out a little bit about, you know, our suspects and our victims both.
Family members tell us Albert Thomas and Dajon Ross were picking up Quezada's daughter Samantha to go to the movies. They say this was the first time Albert met Sam's dad.
Albert had never even met the man because he would always tell her that he didn't want her being around black people. He never met the dad ever until last night. And this man killed him in cold blood.
Thomas says her nephew and Quezada's daughter have been inseparable for the past 2 years, and she doesn't understand why this man took her family members away from her.
We got to bury a kid. We got to bury 2 kids. They didn't deserve none of this.
Now, deputies arrested Quezada on 2 counts of first-degree murder and his wife Angelica for accessory to murder. Now, the probable cause affidavit says the daughter told her parents, "Get away from me, you both are going to jail," right after the shooting.
Now, their court date hasn't been set yet, but they will not admit his motives because they feel the same way. His mindset comes from the mindset of the dominant society. To admit his motives would be to admit their motives. But other groups feel the exact same way. Even some of them who you think are cool, ask them to hook you up with a Mexican girl and see what happens. Because they stay on code. But we have to start having that code for each other. No matter what our disagreements are, we have to have each other's back. And instead of being so forgiving and so passive and so nice and giving so many chances to everybody else, we need to start doing that for each other. Because at the end of the day, we really don't have any other choice. We are all we got. And until we start doing that, we are going to stay in the same position that we are in.
Why would you wear that? Come on. I can't believe y'all did some I can't fucking yeah.
I'm sorry? What are you trying to say? I can't throw away the trash? You can't throw away your trash in our bins.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can. Could you please leave me alone or I'll call the police? You're harassing me. You are harassing me. Thank you very much.
It's 911.
Okay, I will. Got a racist lady here.
That's a big mistake on your part.
Oh, okay. Call. Look. Throwing away the trash. You know, you're gonna be instantly famous. Hi. You're gonna be instantly famous. You know that, young lady? Come on. Here, let me close the door for you. See how much a gentleman I'm being for you? Florida. You're excused.
What's your name and what are you doing?
Please, you're excused, ma'am. You're
work
harassing
here?
me. You are harassing me. I will call the police if you don't leave. Okay? Thank you. What is your name?
Martha.
Show me your
name?
license. Do you live here?
Show me your license.
Show me yours.
Show me yours and I'll show you
No.
mine.
Wow. This is Florida, folks. Yeah. Here we go, Martha.
We have to pay
Vero
extra
Beach.
for people to come clean
Okay.
out.
And we pay extra too. All right. Why do you don't think I live here? Because of the way I look?
Because
Why?
until 2 weeks ago, I was president of the Homeowners Association. And to my knowledge, I know everybody who lives here.
Okay.
That's the only
So
thing.
why did you assume that I don't live here because you don't know me?
Because there's only 42 buildings.
Only 42 buildings. You knew every single person in 42 buildings?
Where do you live?
Huh? Do you know every single person in 42 buildings, ma'am? Thank you very much. I rest my case. Do me a favor. Enjoy the rest of your day. Stop with the fake laugh and just go. All right?
It's not a fake laugh. I think it's
Enjoy
really
your day.
funny. I mean, we have this happen all the time.
All right.
You're not alone.
I feel sorry for you.
You're wrong.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, you got a dash.
Have a good day. Racist people at the best. Here in Florida. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Look, she's chasing me. Look at her. She's trying to get in the way. She won't even let me go. My gosh. She's taking pictures. There's no tag on the front. Please. Out the way. I will. Come on. Can you please get out the way? Please get out the way, ma'am. Please get out the way. For what? Excuse me. Out the way. What is wrong with you? You really, what is wrong with you? Are you serious? Wow. This is 2019 for crying out loud, and I can't even throw away my trash without getting harassed by you? Seriously? I have to go. Ma'am, please get out the way. This is ridiculous. I can't even believe this. Here she is calling the police. All right, ma'am. That's enough. Ma'am, can you call the police for me, please? I can't stand this. Can you call the police for me, please? Are you another one? Yes, I do. Don't worry about it. I don't need to prove to you guys that I live here.
Actually,
Please.
you do.
No, you don't. I'm serious. This is
Actually.
ridiculous. Call the police, ma'am. Yes, because this is ridiculous. I'm throwing away my trash and you guys, she's blocking me. I do.
Where do you
I
live?
don't need to prove to you where I live. Where do you live? This is ridiculous. That's what, and please ask her, ma'am. Why does she not think I live here? You guys are ganging up on me because I'm dark-skinned in the neighborhood and you don't know who I am. Thank you so much, ma'am. This is ridiculous. This is 2019.
Bond is $1,000. Are you requesting a court-appointed lawyer?
Yeah.
Give me a yes or a no.
Yeah.
Is there something you don't understand about give me a yes or a no? I don't expect anything but a yes or a no. Not a maybe so, or a yeah, or anything else.
Yeah.
Or something. I heard what you said. Your bond just went up to $2,000.
A viewer asking for our help. She sent this video of another woman's arrest and asked us to, in her words, please get justice for the woman and her kids. Ashley Osborne talked to the woman that you will see in this video and the sheriff's office about the situation.
The cell phone video you just watched was taken by a man who says he was just walking by when he saw the woman being put in handcuffs close to where I am here on Sandbar Ferry Road in Augusta. The woman who sent us the video asked to be kept anonymous. She says she sent it because she, quote, does not believe in excessive force.
I'm 110 pounds. Get off of me with your weight.
Cell phone video shows Richmond County Sheriff's Deputy Todd Beasley arrest Sharita Jackson in front of her kids.
Man, this man here is reckless. Say jit.
Can't even let me get my shoe. What the She's trying to give me my shoe, bro. No snaps there for my
Hey, man, what the hell is you doing, man? Why this man out of pocket, boy?
The cell phone video does not show what happened before the arrest. Deputy Beasley recorded what he says happened in an incident report. He writes he was dispatched to the Family Dollar on Sandbar Ferry Road. An employee told him they wanted to ban Jackson from the property. The deputy says he saw Jackson walking west on Sandbar Ferry Road with her 2 children carrying items purchased from Family Dollar. According to the deputy, Jackson was less than cooperative and would not identify herself. He says he advised her that he would have to arrest her for obstruction and then call defects for her children if she did not comply. And Deputy Beasley says Jackson resisted arrest and he warned her that he would have to put her on the ground if she kept resisting. He writes the suspect continued to resist and scream for help.
Come on, bro. Get the shoe from her little girl. This man crazy as hell.
The incident report says the children were turned over to Richmond County defects. The deputy notes body-worn camera video is available. The sheriff's office says they will not release that footage since it's part of the ongoing investigation. We requested an interview with Sheriff Roundtree about the incident. We were told the sheriff has been made aware of the video. He says a complaint was filed today in Internal Affairs, and as with all complaints, it is being investigated. We have spoken to Sharita Jackson today. She is no longer in jail. She does, though, face a misdemeanor charge of obstruction of a law enforcement officer. We talked to the manager at Family Dollar. He tells us they're not allowed to talk to the media and instructed us to contact their corporate office, which we did. Sharita Jackson was arrested as she walked home from a store where she bought snacks for her kids. You can see in this video, she is black, the deputy is white. But Jackson emphasized to me that she doesn't want people to see this as a race thing. She says it's simply a human thing. She believes her arrest was unlawful because she says no person, no matter their race, should have been treated that way. Sharita Jackson used to work at Family Dollar on Sandbar Ferry Road and says ever since she left, there's been animosity between her and management.
Without an active trespass from the sheriff or without something from loss prevention saying I was stealing, they have no right to ban me from the store.
After school on Thursday, her kids wanted snacks, so she went to Family Dollar, paid, and left. The Richmond County incident report says Deputy Todd Beasley responded in reference to trouble with a subject.
Hops out the car, identify yourself. Excuse me? I'm feeling like, what did I do? Identify yourself. Identify yourself or your children will be taken into custody and you will be arrested. Just like that. What's going on, sir? Like, you know, I need to know what's going on. We're just walking home. We haven't done anything. No explanation needed. No argument needed. Identify yourself. I could identify myself, but again, I haven't done anything wrong.
He wrote, I think, 3 times That he told you if you resisted, he was going to have to put you on the ground, then you continued to resist, and screamed for help. Do you believe you resisted arrest?
I do not believe I resisted arrest.
How come?
The officer didn't even give me a chance to explain the situation before he put the handcuffs on me. If he would have listened to me say that corporate, said that I can be there, maybe if he would have even taken the time to allow me to call corporate, if he would have even taken me back to the store, there were so many other options. The officer did not give me those options.
Jackson spent a night in jail for obstruction of a law enforcement officer and says defects allowed her children to stay with her daughter's teacher.
The school administrators on both sides, the elementary school and the middle school, vouched for me as a good mother. And so instead of defects holding my children for 45 days, they gave them back as soon as I got out.
How are they doing? Because that was pretty stressful for them. How are they doing?
They are not well. My son, he sits in silence, which makes it worse because I don't know how he's feeling. And my 5-year-old cries over everything. She's never been so sensitive. She's always been a tough cookie. Any and every little thing makes her cry.
Mommy, please, you okay with all
And it was just a horrible experience. In 39 years of my life, I've never been arrested. I'm not a criminal. I've never had defects case. And because someone doesn't like me and my family have to go through this.
Activists say officers crossed a line when they arrested and hurt a 14-year-old boy. But tonight, the mayor has something that he wants to share with everyone. Andrea Lucia live in McKinney tonight with that. Andrea?
And McKinney's mayor says what most people have seen, short video clips, don't tell the full story of what happened here. He said they don't show the extent that officers went to try to avoid making an arrest for criminal trespass. And it's why he agreed to release nearly 15 minutes of footage to us.
Hey, man, stop cussing.
I don't want you to talk to me right now.
Leave the property, man.
This newly released body cam video shows McKinney police officers spent at least 9 minutes trying to get Jasper Miller and his friends to leave this theater Saturday night.
This is not a request.
After a manager kicked them out for being disruptive.
Hey, call a ride or get off the property.
In the video, an officer urges the 14-year-old to comply.
I promise you, you don't want to do this, man.
After repeated requests, he approaches the teen.
Hey, stop. Stop.
Who runs away.
Stop. Police.
Moments later, Jasper is back.
I'm not asking to come here. You need to walk over here, man. Because I'm going to arrest you. You're under arrest. Walk over here.
Whoa, I'm under arrest.
Yeah.
Finally, the officer grabs him. It's during this arrest Jasper's family told us the freshman football player from Allen suffered a separated shoulder.
And he pulls it, and I felt it pop, and I couldn't do anything. I was just in shock.
When you hear that as a mayor of a city, I'm immediately on the phone with our city manager, our police chief.
Mayor George Fuller says after watching the entire body cam footage, he thought the public should see it too.
We have a false narrative being perpetuated.
Well, we offered to show the entire video to Jasper's family for their reaction. I'm told they are awaiting advice from their attorney. The Next Generation Action Network, though, told us it continues to believe that racial bias played a role in the arrest and that it is the city misrepresenting things.
In my opinion, the picture was innocent until somebody made it wrong.
Somebody made it wrong. That's what Jasmine Bates, a freshman at Lebanon High School, says happened Saturday night when a girl she had just met posted this photo on Snapchat. In it, Jasmine and other white kids are wearing black face paint. A caption read #N-word gang with the full N-word spelled out.
I didn't even know that the picture was posted until Sunday morning.
First, let's back up. How did this picture even happen? Jasmine says it started when the kids in it volunteered to scare people at a haunted barn, a fundraiser for their school's Future Farmers of America chapter.
All these kids in the picture, they're hardworking kids.
Jasmine's mom, Laura Lewis.
They're probably some of the best in the community.
Jasmine showed up ready to help.
I signed up for the role doing People in Black, and our job was basically to hide. One person hid behind the wall and pounded in the wall and jumped out and scared people.
That's when she says an adult chaperone issued instructions.
So he told us to put our hair back and put our hoods up and have our faces black so that we wouldn't be visible at all.
The kids obeyed, and Jasmine says one wanted to document the moment.
We took a picture, just a group picture, and After everyone walked away, the girl who had took the picture had posted the picture with a caption, hashtag whatever, and the rest of us weren't really aware of what she had said.
The next morning, after a night of Halloween fun, the teen girl woke up to a tidal wave of anger aimed at the racist word and images of white kids in blackface.
When people were blowing up my phone, they would say, "You're disgusting, you're nasty." There was people who death threats and just like lots and lots of insults.
What they did wasn't okay.
The backlash, as KGW found Monday, spread to Lebanon High. Kids and parents were buzzing.
I mean, it's not okay. I just don't understand why people do things like that.
The school's principal warned the girl behind the hashtag could be punished, adding kids not understanding the racist history of blackface wasn't an excuse to brush this under the rug.
I think we need, as a school, to examine the whole idea and educate on the idea of blackface, and though there was a role for it, to understand that that's not acceptable, and I will take that on as principal.
Tonight, Jasmine's mom says all this fallout has scared her daughter.
My daughter hasn't even returned to school since Monday, and we're looking at other options just so we don't have to return to the public school setting.
The whole thing, it just doesn't seem fair to me that all of us are getting blamed and attacked online for the one girl's action.
So we do want to know, we reached out to Lebanon High's principal tonight to ask if there are any updates on that possible punishment or on new ways to educate kids about blackface. We'll let you know when we hear back.
Starbucks is denying claims of racial bias against the former regional manager involved in a high-profile incident at the Center City store last year. Shannon Phillips claims in a new lawsuit that she was fired less than a month after two black men were arrested for just sitting in the store. She alleges the company discriminated against her because she is white in an effort to convince the community it properly responded to the incident. Phillips' lawyer is asking for a jury trial. Starbucks says it is prepared to defend itself in court.
A Delaware police captain claims he was not promoted to chief because he is white. WBOC reports that Dover police captain David Spicer filed a lawsuit claiming he was more qualified than the man who got the job, former deputy chief Marvin Maley, who is black. Spicer says he has more degrees, training, and experience. Dover's mayor, Maley, and several other defendants named in the lawsuit have declined to comment.
The House Ethics Committee has decided to launch an official investigation into California Democrat Katie Hill. Hill, the vice chairwoman of the House Oversight Committee, has been accused of engaging in an improper relationship with a congressional staffer, among other things. The investigation sparked after shocking photos of Hill surfaced online. One of them of Hill brushing a campaign staffer's hair, 22-year-old Morgan Desjardins, who then engaged in a three-way relationship with Hill and her husband. Another compromising photo surfaced also from the Daily Mail that shows a woman who they identify as Hill smoking a bong and revealing a tattoo of a Nazi-era Iron Cross on her bikini line. The picture was taken in 2017 before marijuana was legalized recreationally in California. According to the Daily Mail, Hill has criticized racist Facebook posts that included a similar-looking cross, calling it hateful rhetoric that helps fuel violence across America. Hill admitted yesterday to her affair with Desjardins, but is now being accused of having an improper affair with her legislative director, Graham Kelly. All three pictured together right there on your screen. Hill was elected to Congress in the 2018 midterm election.
Did you see the smoke coming up? What happened just now?
Well, no, because it's resting on some paper, and so I didn't want the little tea light to overheat, and then all of a sudden we've got breaking news here at the channel.
I told you, if the sprinkler systems come on, I'm done for the day.
Yeah, you go. That is not
sitting up here looking like a mop.
Yeah, you don't want sprinkler system and a beautiful weave because they do not go together. Wow, you're beautiful. You said it was a weave, right?
It's not. Oh.